everybody. It's Kat here. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend my webinar. I see that we've got a bunch of registrants, so I'm going to go ahead just maybe give another couple minutes here. I see people coming on. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. My name is Kat. I am an annuity sales director here at IMES. I've had a great time here at IMES. It's truly been an experience, both getting to be in the field before I came to IMES and also just seeing what the other side of the fence is like on the wholesale side and the IMO experience. So I can truly say, just with that experience behind me, that IAMS truly is a one-of-a-kind IMO. And what I'll be talking about today is our 1040 overlay sales kit. Now that 1040 overlay sales kit is a great concept to apply to your practice because some of you may or may not already be using taxes as a way in to talk to people. Now, what I do want to mention is we are not tax professionals. Some of us are. I do have some agents that are on the tax side, but first and foremost, we are insurance agents using vehicles to help clients in their retirement, whether it is to mitigate their taxes or to defer taxes. It's a strong point of retirement planning. So I'm really excited to get to do this webinar today. Before I get into all of that, though, I am going to be doing some housekeeping. So this is great for agents that might need a nice refresher of the services that we offer here at IMES. And for those that are newer to IMES, this is a great way to find out what exactly we have as incentives. And we have so many. So I'll go ahead and take about maybe 8-10 minutes going over everything we have here at IMES. So first off, we do have our new producer builders. Our new producer builders are for agents that are brand new to IMES, just getting appointed with some carriers, and this will go all the way up to the $1 million level. So I've seen people do this on one case. I've seen people do this in multiple cases, but I've definitely seen people do this in their first 180 days of being here with IMES. And all of the incentives really start to stack up from here right at the get-go. So off of the $100,000 level, you get 1,500 piece postcard mailing. If you still do mailers, you can get a $750 cash, an iPad. And then right in the middle, that sweet spot of what we typically like for our average case sizes, of course, 250 to 750,000. That would be a 3,000 piece postcard mailing. So mailers, especially if you do seminars or if you're trying to attract warmer leads, mailing is still pretty effective from what I'm seeing out in the field. $2,000 marketing reimbursement, a Visa gift card of $1,500, and then all the way up to seminars. So once we start getting to the middle to higher end tiers, you have seminars, 8 to 10 set preset annuity appointments. And what I want you guys to know just by looking at this screen here is you don't have to be limited by what you're seeing on the screen. Most agents I talk to, especially if they've already been seasoned, been doing this for a really long time, already have marketing. So what I want you to know, especially as an annuity marketer, is you do not have to change anything. What we really want to do is help you grow and scale your practice. So if that means adding on different marketing programs to make it an omni-channel approach, or by looking at some other options that might be a little bit more beneficial, that's our main focus and our main goal. So definitely let us know how we can help, because that's what we're here to do within your first 180 days. We do also have our IAMS builders. So on top of the 180 days, what happens after you graduate from that and you spend some more time, you've been producing with us, and you see that you really happen to like us, we move you over to our marketing reimbursement accounts. Our marketing dollars is what we call them. Our marketing dollars, we pay you $100 for every $100,000 of FIA premium that you're doing on any single premium life that you're doing. If you're a life insurance producer also, or have a nice blend of that, it's $200 for every $100,000 of single premium life. And then on life target, like term, whole life, whatnot, $200 for every $10,000 of premium. ULs, of course. So, really, really good incentives both on the life and the annuity side. And then to top it all off, this is my favorite program that we have here because I haven't seen this anywhere else. We do also have a referred producer program. So, I work, and many of us marketers work with agency owners and independent agents, right? And so, a lot of people, surprisingly enough, don't actually like to build a team. They like to focus on personal production. Me, if I were doing this all over again, I would focus on personal production. And so, with that, we give you guys a $50 one-time bonus for every referred agent that you contract or agency owner. Same thing. And so you can really make up to thousands of dollars just based off of referrals because where that money comes from is from IMS. That does not come from an override or your friends, colleagues' commissions. That actually comes from IMS. So this is Steve and Charles' favorite checks to sign, and what they do is they pay you off of that $50 one-time bonus when they do decide to contract with IMS and get some contracts. And then off of life target premium, they'll pay you 15 basis points on single premium. They'll pay you 75 basis points. On FIAs, they'll pay you 20 basis points. And then on MIGAs, it's 10 basis points. So that could definitely stack up. If you know a lot of people in the industry, you don't like to recruit, you just like to focus on personal production and whatnot. This is a huge program because people are definitely making money on a quarterly basis. We pay this out on a quarterly basis. And so there's definitely tons of ways for you to really stack up and earn on different sides of the coin here. So definitely make use of that if you are not already. Our back office support, I truly will always brag about this. I do believe we have the best back office support 100% because of our people that come into the office every single day. And so, what I mean by this is we have different departments that handle different things, right? So, it's not just your annuity sales director and you, it's not just your life director and you. You have a whole team of people behind you. So, it's like having an entire staff without actually having to pay the payroll. So you have a new business department that handles everything post app submission. So us marketers, we handle everything pre-app submission, right? We help you with the case design. We help you get things across the finish line so that you can get some business in the door. Our new business department, I think, is definitely the best. Mackenzie, there is only one Mackenzie, and she is here with IMS. There's only one Natalie Goss. There's only one Sam. There's only one Ben Lopez, and I can't express enough how awesome these people are. So I work hand in hand with all of those people every single day to also help them with whatever they need to help them finish across the finish line, get these things issued in a timely fashion. And of course, if everything's in good order. And that is the hugest thing as well. We also have Firelight staff that is just for people to help their apps get scrubbed to prevent any NIGOs. So that is a huge component of you getting paid. So we have several different departments that help that. We have a great contracting department and we have a great creative in-house department that also comes into the office. We do not third party any of this. It is all here in-house. And so that's why I stress the back office people the most. On top of that, we also have business building tools and resources all on our IMS website, case design assistance, like I had just mentioned. We have an annuity service department where if you need any forms, I can just shoot Eden a message and then she'll get that right over. And she's so quick about it. Truly don't know what we would do without Eden. And several life and annuity quoting options. If you wanted to do it yourself, you could do it yourself on our portal. If you wanted to give us a call, we don't have any voicemail. You'll always get a live person. Or if you just wanted to submit a ticket if it wasn't something that was as urgent. There's several different ways to do it. As I mentioned, our IMS website is a great resource. We do everything all on this one portal. So you guys use this, but so do we every single day. There's not a day where we are locked out of this thing. We are on this thing every single day. We give our agents Annuity Rate Watch for free. You guys have access to Retirement Analyzer. You guys have access to a great underwriting tool that's on here for the life insurance department. And we do have access to a great sales resources library that have tons and tons of concept pages, including stuff about a 1040 overlay or mitigating taxes within retirement. So really great website to just dive in, explore. There's so much to explore on there. And because things are just constantly changing, we're always staying up to date with this website. So Lifetime, this is always a good resource to go to. Our EAP solutions, these are the main EAP solutions that we use. Of course, Firelight, everybody knows and loves Firelight. We've integrated that with Luma. Luma has been a huge deal for us. Actually, all week we've been running reports on Luma to find some low-hanging fruit, what we call it. Low-hanging fruit where we could find opportunity within annuities that might be underperforming, annuities that are coming out of surrender, annuities that might already be out of surrender. It's a really easy way to track all of that. And so we have access to it, but you also have access to it. So if you ever need any help running a report, that's 100% what we're here for, because of course we have a little bit more capability and this is also what we do. So definitely give us a call if you have not had access or used that yet, or would just like help going through Loma. And just exploring all of the great things about it, and eventually too product training and compliance, making sure you've got all of your trainings in order. That's all going to be available on Luma eventually as well. So we've seen a lot of great things with Luma from the beginning all the way up till today, and there's just been so many different um, steps forward. And so we're definitely proud of everything Luma has done. I pipeline, of course, mainly for life insurance and some MIGAs. Now, these are creative services that we have here. Like I had mentioned, we do everything in-house. So we have a whole creative department. Now, our creative department is actually the one who put together our 1040 overlay sales kit that I'm going to dive into. Now, they have several different sales kits that they put together. We've got a Roth conversion kit, we've got Medicare cross-selling kits, tons and tons and tons of um, cross-selling kits and different sales kits that you can use. And in those kits, what they're going to be Google link drives. There's going to be several different attachments to it. So they work tirelessly day in, day out on stuff like that, but they also help you with agency solutions, digital solutions, turnkey options, pretty much anything that you need and might already be using. But this is a great way to, again, do everything in-house so that you're taking off the focus from doing it yourself. Sometimes, a lot of times, these things take time, right? And our time is so valuable. We only have one life and we want to spend it with the people we love, but we also want to run successful practices. So that is the biggest takeaway with our creative services. While doing everything in-house as an IMO, doing all of your business, but also being able to lean on our creative services department is huge. Because at that point, not only do you have your omni-channel approach with your marketing where you're getting in front of people, but you also have people in real time helping you run your practice. That is a true sales partnership. You don't have to, you know, third party or keep looking outside. You could really do everything all within IAMS. And that's why I do say we have best in class service, and it is completely customized to the way that you like to run things. And so for that, we do have our customized marketing, complementary marketing analysis. And with this is a two-piece process. So on that first piece, we've also hired on a marketing implementation specialist, CJ, who will usually be on these calls either with us or for us. And that's huge. What he will help you do is help you refine your target market, strengthen your brand, explore new marketing opportunities, and also just really create a digital footprint. Because in that first part of the call, what we're also doing is doing a quick sweep of all of your digital presence, right? So websites, I actually have Bob on here. Now, Bob, we've put together a great website for him. And, um, and so the thing with that is just helping cleaning things up, right? So if Facebook is something you're trying to really develop yourself in, that's also something that we have available here at IAMS. So I'm really proud of our creative department. They do a really great job with all of our agents, and they're also just some of the best people. So if you have not done a complementary marketing analysis, or if you've done one in the past and just want to redo it because times are constantly changing, that's huge. Sometimes I'll do with a lot of my agents, sometimes I'll do these maybe once or twice a year, once at the beginning um, and then another time at the end. Sometimes if marketing isn't working, because that definitely tends to happen uh, with all of the vendors, with all of the seminar options, there's just so much going on. Sometimes there's just too much to last on. So sometimes I'll do it in the middle of the year. So there's really no better time than to do it right now, especially if you aren't seeing the results that you want in your practice. Marketing has a really big deal to do with that. And then we do have our IMS Wealth Management Department. Now they are just down the street. They are some of the best, smartest people that I have ever met, but they're also very humble, and their value proposition aligns with IAMS. And our value proposition has to do with customization, collaboration, and best in class service. They do the same thing on the wealth management side, and what they'll help you do is increase your revenue, improve your client retention, and help strengthen your relationships amongst your clients and also just amongst the different carriers and products that you use within that space. So definitely get a hold of them. They have a great starter program as well for aspiring advisors. We have our Life and Annuity Academy that we've got. We've actually got our first one here coming up here in April, right around the corner. Super excited to see everybody. For us, this is some of the only time that we really get to see you, unless you qualify for our incentive trips, of course. But this is a huge opportunity to really help scale and grow your practice, because we'll have some multi-million dollar keynote speakers there. We've got a great agenda lined up, especially for this one. And it's usually sponsored by some exclusive carriers in the annuity and life insurance space. And this year, we've got a really exciting lineup coming up. Like I know we're doing a women's one as well this year. And then this next one is being sponsored by Silac and um, oh, who is the other one? American Life. So we've really got a long array of carriers sponsoring our events this year. So definitely, if you have not been to one, definitely come see our headquarters, meet the carriers, meet our VPs, and meet us. It's a huge opportunity to really just get to know you, as this is a relationship practice. And that's what we want at the end of the day, a true sales partnership. And so these are our social medias. Definitely follow us on LinkedIn and follow up to stay updated with what's going on with IAMS. And before I jump into the 1040 overlay sales kit, I definitely wanted to show you what that looks like. And I did put together some slides, but I'll go ahead and launch a poll. So, alrighty, so this is the slide that I put together. I'm going to show you guys our 1040 overlay sales kit as well here at the end of our presentation. But why I put these slides together is because a lot of you guys are already using the conversation of taxes within your retirement planning conversations, right? So that's not something that's new. This would actually be something that's already pretty familiar to you. But a lot of times there's still some low-hanging fruit that we may not be aware of just by going over the 1040 overlay, which is this form right here. So everybody knows this form like the back of their hand, maybe not, but we have to do this every single year. And what this does is help us track and see where we might be missing some opportunity for a conversation. What this really is a big door opener. And so my objective of going over this presentation is helping you guys recognize that annuity opportunities are here and they do exist, whether we see it or not, during normal financial conversations just by talking about taxes. Now, one thing I do want to stress is that we're not CPAs. We are not tax people. You, some of us are. Some of us are. I've got a couple of agents that actually are CPAs and tax professionals. Some of them are even registered with the IRS. Well, I assume all of you guys are registered with the IRS if you guys are doing taxes, but using a 1040 overlay in retirement planning means that you're layering a client's financial strategy directly onto their projected form, the 1040, something that they're already familiar with. Now, a lot of times, especially for coming across new agents, or I'm sorry, new clients, um, they're not as familiar with us. They're still getting a feel for us as agents and advisors. They're still wondering if they even want to do business with us. The easiest way for someone to get comfortable with you and a little bit more familiar is by showing them things that they're already comfortable and familiar with. So a 1040 overlay form, that's something they've seen their whole life. And essentially what we're doing here is planning through the lens of their tax return. So we're already working with what they have. We're not asking them crazy questions underneath the spotlight. What we're really trying to drive home is the fact that we are trying to help them within their taxes and retirement, because it is a big conversation that comes up. It's a big concern for clients, and not only taxes are something that they are usually concerned of, but it's really the retirement income. And so again, what I do want to drive home is the fact that most of us, some of us are CPAs and tax people, but a lot of us are not. Some of us are just in the retirement planning space. Some of us are just insurance agents. Some of us are just advisors. So this is a really huge deal that we actually have a sales kit to help you and guide you through this process. In our sales kit, we do have some guides in there. We have some informative information on how to even use the 1040. If you're not already, I have agents all the time that are a lot more seasoned that already say they already use it, but they still use maybe a couple different things like our prospecting material that is included in our sales kit. And so with this level of knowledge, uh, this is what makes tax impact visible to the client. It's not theoretical. It's not just a concept. And when we're talking about annuities, life insurance, that's all conceptual stuff. But what we know is that there are so many different annuity products out there, and what do we know as agents and advisors? We sell on concepts. It's all a full circle motion. The product typically comes secondary. Why is that? Because everybody has a different situation that's unique to them. When I used to go to houses, every client was very different in a different circumstance, different situation. So I always had to plan around that. And so had I have used a 1040 overlay, had I had known how to talk about taxes, not in the fashion of I'm here to help them with their taxes, but I'm here to help them with the concern and then push them along either to their own CPA or in the right direction if I was networking with a CPA. It's huge. And at the end of the day, this is a relationship first type of business. And so if you're helping them plan efficiently, helping your client plan efficiently, you can truly make a difference. You're not just selling annuities. You're not just selling life insurance. What we're really doing is planning for retirement by helping them through their tax forms. By using the 1040 overlay, instead of abstract projections, instead of crazy numbers, instead of saying, oh, I'm here to sell you an annuity. I know you guys aren't that robust or that bold in that statement out there, but it definitely takes some edge off of you, because we know that we're there to sell annuities. We know that we're there to sell life insurance. But what we really want to do is develop that rapport, develop that relationship, develop that trust. And so if you're coming off talking about something that they already see every single year, which is that 1040 form, and also driving home the fact that you're there to help provide vehicles, to help them really plan for their taxes and retirement, that's huge. So it's not just an abstract projection, like I'm here to give you X amount of growth within your money. If you put your money into this, you'll keep it safe. You know, all the things that we already know. This pretty much just layers a foundation for them. Sometimes if we don't have a system or a process in place, what that can do is we'll just immediately start talking about products. That's definitely what we don't want because these clients are shown products, pitched products every single day. They're also having to have the Medicare conversation. They're planning for retirement. These are really huge emotional things. And so if you take this from a logical standpoint and a logical approach, not only can you layer in the foundation of tax mitigation, but you could also start working on the emotional seeds of this, which is huge. It's something that's not tapped into. Now, some people won't always have the logical stuff. Sometimes they'll just sell deeply on emotion, which is also fair, especially if you have the right sales partner, IMO pushing you in the right products. But, you know, if you're new to IAMS and you don't know who we are definitely the Midwestern integrity focused type of company that'll really help you case design. Oops, sorry about that. Really help case design and really take the time and the effort to put these clients in good, suitable, best interest type of situations. And so again, by looking at that 1040 overlay, what you're showing them is how their decisions affect like their AGI, their tax brackets, credits and deductions. And so my key point in this whole slide is many retirees prioritize protection over growth. Now, again, it is an emotional situation having to retire sometimes, especially if you're a lot more independent, especially if you're a higher net worth individual. You've worked tirelessly your whole life. And so a lot of times they might just be used to consistent growth or they might be used to aggressive growth. Well, a lot of our FIAs, of course, yes, what we do is prioritize the safety, but some of these products also have different things like inflation features, or they'll have like Athene, for example, has aggressive for growth on one of their preset strategies on the Performance Elite. So there really is truly a product to help cover what their clients are and their what their preferences are due to risk tolerance. Like Ibexus has a lot of great stuff on risk tolerance within their indexes. So there's, like I say, the product truly only comes secondary after you've laid the foundation. And so this is the power of what a 1040 overlay can do. It also helps optimize income buckets. So if you're an agent or an advisor that's talking about the bucket strategy, this also comes heavily into use where you can talk about retirement income, typically coming from an IRA, a 401k, tax deferred accounts, and that sort, tax-free accounts like Roth accounts if they have any, or taxable brokerage accounts if they have any money in stocks and bonds. So it's huge. It's huge. It opens up that conversation for you to really discover how much the client truly has. And sometimes the client will know all of their numbers. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll just go to their CPA and have them do it. And so if you're really taking the time, you have earned their respect. You have earned their business to be able to talk about and discover how much they truly have. A lot of times what we find too is that our clients don't tell us what they have. What they'll usually do, you'll find Mrs. Jones, they'll have some money hiding underneath their bed. You know, I've seen a lot of different things. Um, I've seen things hidden in Venmo accounts. I've seen lots of different things. And so just by talking about taxes and whatnot, that can be really huge in just really scaling your practice by just going that extra mile and laying that extra foundation. And it's really not all that much more that you're doing. You're simply talking about something that they do every single year in tax season. And so there are CPAs that also have their insurance licenses. So, do you want to be behind the curve just by not talking about the foundation? Or, there's definitely a lot of different ways. And so some questions that the overlay might help answer are, how much can we withdraw before hitting the next bracket? Right? So tax brackets are huge, of course. It can determine a lot of like Medicare Part B premiums. So that is huge, especially when it comes to their Social Security money. Another question that 1040 overlay would answer is, when should we realize capitalized gains? So that comes into the RMD question. How much am I taking out on my RMD this year? And then also how to fill lower tax brackets efficiently. So again, we're not tax professionals, but what this does is help provide a solution to your client's concerns that a tax professional might not be able to answer if they're not also insurance licensed. You're the one at the end of the day providing a vehicle, and you don't have to outwardly say that I'm selling an annuity until we get to that point. Again, what we're doing is we're layering a foundation. And what this does also is help support strategic timing decisions. So when you're doing a Roth conversion, that really matters, right? So a lot of carriers right now have a lot of great Roth conversion material that's out in their marketing. And so, a Roth conversion may not be for everybody, but for the folks that are really concerned, especially if they're in a higher tax bracket right now, sometimes a Roth conversion would be really useful. And we also have great tools to help you talk about those conversations along with layering that on to something that the carriers already put together for you in their marketing. And we do have a great Roth conversion kit on that as well. So very similar to this 1040 overlay sales kit. What this also helps you map out is the Social Security and when to start timing that. So every year, especially when they're getting ready to claim on Social Security, when they're getting ready to retire, when they're getting ready for Medicare, they receive that Social Security letter. Now, that Social Security letter pisses people off. A lot of people off, because that is all of their hard-earned money, and then they find out that that is all they're going to be getting. So this is a huge thing, Social Security. I'm sure a lot of us already talk about Social Security, but also just knowing when to time that. A lot of people will just do it blindly. They'll say, I'm just going to retire at 67 just because that feels right. Um, a lot of people that are a little bit more strategic, they may have some numbers lined up. They might have some things that they've been planning for years and years, and they say, well, I've got this. Those are the people you want to work with. And that's both the people that don't know and the people that do know. But the only way we're going to find that out is by talking about the 1040 overlay. And then we do also have that conversation, and what the 1040 supports is RMDs, capital gains harvesting. So all of this truly aligns with minimizing lifetime taxes, not just annual taxes. You can, similar to how we like to be a true sales partner to you, is the way that we want you guys to be with your clients. We don't just want it to be the case where you're just selling annuities or just doing life insurance. We really want you guys to understand these concepts, but also be able to effectively sell them. And also, what that does is when you're effectively utilizing these concepts, you're selling more. And that is our goal at the end of the day. What the 1040 also does is identify hidden tax traps. Now, this is huge. IRMA conversations. I think over the last year, I've seen a lot more people talk about IRMA, but maybe 2 years ago, not so much. Not so much. And why is that? That's because things are getting more expensive. Things are definitely getting more expensive. Um, Nowadays, inflation has been crazy. So those IRMA tax brackets are huge for clients to determine um, where they might need a cushion for their retirement income, because that money will be going right back into Social Security. So definitely having that conversation, pairing the 1040 overlay with that Social Security letter, I would say is a really nice added conglomeration of how you can have the client feel like okay, here is a really big problem, and here is how I'm going to fix it. Because what are we there to do as the agents and the advisors? We're there to help solve problems. But most times clients of course don't realize that they have the problems. And that's because they're not the ones that are maybe as informed on this as we are. They're not the ones that are educated. We're the professionals behind this, and we're there to help them and to guide them. And so the 1040, in my opinion, is probably the easiest way to do it. You pair on if they already have been receiving those Social Security Administration letters saying how much they're going to get in Social Security. Really, really, really huge tip right there. Ideal annuity client profile. So I just added this just in case. I do a lot of these trainings with some of my different groups and agency owners that I work with. And so I thought this might be a nice client profile. Now, of course, if you're someone that's in your early 50s, you're not going to be seeing those Social Security letters just yet. But later on, later into your 50s, early 60s, you're going to start seeing those, especially as you start planning on when you're going to take out Social Security. But the ideal prospects, especially if you're going to be talking about the 1040 overlay and utilizing that, are ages 50 to 75. And the financial situation that they're going to be in is either near retirement or retired or a conservative investor. I've met 40-year-olds that are not risky. Me, I am 30 and I am not risky whatsoever. If I ever had a job separation, I would definitely be rolling over my 401k into an FIA because I know that I would still have time for my next employment to make that up in a 401k, especially if they got good matching. So it really just depends. You just have to have these conversations and ask the right questions. And so some common asset locations that they might have: CDs, savings account, money markets, old 401ks, IRAs, whatnot. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Some other nice tips that I had added on here were some annuity trigger phrases. So when clients say things like, "I don't want to lose money in the market." Right now, that's a huge statement that a lot of people are saying. It is extremely volatile right now. So you might hear this a lot more often. And if you're not hearing it more often than you'd like, we got to increase the marketing, or we have to be asking better questions, or we have to start using a system in place in our practice to be able to have these type of conversations where they're saying things like you. A lot of this is guidance. You want to help guide these clients because we may see the issues before they even show us their 1040 statement just by, having those discovery calls and whatnot, and those qualifying calls, because of course, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time before qualifying the client. But the thing is, if we don't have a system in place, if we're not asking the right questions, we're not going to get them to say these things that we want them to say. And we want to hear all of these things. My CD isn't earning anything. That's huge. We've got MIGAs, we've got FIAs that even have the fixed bucket guaranteed for specific terms nowadays. So there is just such a big opportunity in the annuity space right now. And I know that a lot of people have been scared because the market has been so volatile, but it's a double-edged sword. That's exactly why they should be looking into FIAs. That's why they should be looking into MIGAs. And that's the passion that we have to drive home to them. But we're not going to get that answer. We're not going to get any of these statements from them if we don't guide them in that direction. And so that 1040 will definitely help guide them in that direction of saying one of these statements. Something else like, "I want guaranteed income." Some of them won't even say, "I want guaranteed income." Some of them will just say, "I don't know what I'm going to do about my income. It's going to run out. I've invested everything into my 401k. By the age I'm 86, I think it's going to run out." We run the numbers. Lo and behold, by age 86, 84, 87, it runs out. So you're there to provide that solution, that safe money solution where you can provide a guaranteed income for life. I'm worried about retirement. Now, that that is something that's huge. Now, that's something you could even get before you talk about the 1040 overlay. But these are major annuity opportunity signals. And if things are just going slow in your practice, definitely give us a call because I love having these type of conversations with my agents about these type of situations because for some people it's either really slow right now and for some people it's really hot. It's really there's just so much work for them. So what I want for all of you is for you guys to have that great problem of just too much work that you can deal with. And we're finding annuity money, bank CDs, savings accounts, old retirement accounts, bonds, inherited IRAs. Safe money is often in annuity money. These again are just vehicles. So some added tips again that I have in here, some prospecting questions, a simple discovery question. Do you have any money currently sitting in CDs, savings accounts, or retirement accounts that you're not sure what to do with? Now, when you're looking at the 1040 form, this is when I would ask this question. And so if you're also someone that uses a fact finder, so what we could do is you can use that 1040 form in conjunction with a fact finder. What I used to like doing is having a fact finder, including a 1040 form. Now, of course, I didn't always use the 1040 form because it's that next level layer of foundation that you're doing within your appointments. But had I had done this, I would have included the 1040 form in um, in my fact finders, especially if it was a new client. And then what I would do the next following year is go back to that 1040 form and then go back with a policy review saying, hey, you know, it's tax season, and then you've got some appointments lined up for yourself. So, really great opportunity to just create a system for yourself and to be able to ask that question of, do you have any money currently sitting in CDs? And if they're a newer client, maybe they won't tell you the first year, but maybe just after some comfortability, maybe they'll tell you in the second year. Who knows? But at the end of the day, what we do with that 1040 form is we're finding out pretty much all of their assets and what they have to work out. So chances are, even in that new client appointment, you're probably going to get all of the information just by using that 1040 form and the sales kit. Safety and risk questions that I've also included. So a safety question on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is protecting this money from market loss? And then a risk question that I included, how did you feel during the last market drop? So these are questions just to continue layering in as you're talking about the 1040, because again, we're not the tax professionals. Unless you are, then you can do this. But these are questions that you can add into your presentation while you're going over the 1040. Or even while you're doing the discovery process, because that'll tell you a lot. It'll tell you about how concerned they are about volatility, what their risk tolerance is, and how stressed they might be, or how stressed they might not be, and how you need to drive this into their attention. Some income discovery questions that I included are, do you currently have a pension or guaranteed income besides Social Security? So that's huge, especially for suitability purposes, as we might already know. But that is huge in being able to uncover how much we might be able to roll over into an annuity. Future income question, would it be helpful or would it help if part of your retirement created income you could never outlive? And so I know I worded that a little weird, but I did another webinar with Talcott. They're number one in guaranteed lifetime income right now and 10-year deferral. But the name of that webinar was um, How to Not Live Retirement Income or something like that. And so the gist of that is you want to ask your clients what would happen if you outlived your retirement income. That would be the simple question to that. And then what we do with that, with their answers, is position the annuities as personal pensions. So some green flags and some red flags that I also included when talking to clients and utilizing the 1040 overlay kit. Some green flags, risk averse clients, near retirement. So if they're looking for safety, if they're really concerned about losing retirement income, if they're really mad about the Social Security letter that they're getting every year saying, that can't be, I should be making more. Well, the Social Security Administration, they're gonna tell you exactly how much you're gonna get in retirement whenever you decide to claim on that, and it is what it is. So large CD or cash holdings wants guaranteed income. Some red flags are if they need short-term liquidity, if they have a high risk tolerance, and then if they're very young accumulation clients. So just, if they're in their 30s. Now, like I said, it's a very small number of people that are like me that are very concerned about retirement, and that's because I'm in the space. Most younger folks, where we want to look into maybe is an IUL or even into the market, but you still have some clients that won't budge like me, where I will say, nope, that's not what I want. I would rather just play it the safe way. And trust me, there are a lot of people like me. And simple client explanation. So keeping it simple. So this isn't about beating the market. It's about protecting part of your retirement while still allowing growth. So of course, we don't run into any kind of compliance issues while we're talking to people, especially if we're doing virtual appointments. you know, what we want to drive home to them is that you're not there to talk to them about the market. You're not there to talk to them about securities. What you're there to show them is that the market is volatile and you have a solution to help put them in a safer situation. So it is about protecting their part of retirement while still allowing growth. And again, these are three small seeds that you are planting while using that 1040 overlay that they see every single year. So I cannot stress enough how many seeds you could plant just while using the 1040 overlay. And again, I think I've gone over this maybe 3 times now, but the biggest opportunities, CD replacement, 401k rollovers, pension replacement. Many retirees today need to create their own pension. And people, with how volatile the market is right now, they truly want to feel like they have control over their money, which they should. They worked very hard for it. Both of my parents are in retirement, and I've seen them work tirelessly, all for it to go straight back into Social Security. So, if we had planned for that sooner on, it might be a different conversation. But that's the thing, you guys all have the power to make a difference in these clients' homes and within their families. And what that also produces is referrals. So, we've all heard those clients say from their beneficiary directly, right? If we're doing claims or if we are doing policy reviews, if they're new clients, well, my mom had this advisor that she's worked for years, so I trust that advisor. You want to be that person down the line. And that person down the line is someone that used a strong foundation and helped the client understand. And even if they didn't understand, help them feel like you had a guide and a system for them to run on. Because as much as this 1040 is a track for us to run on, it's also a track for your clients to run on. Because like I said, they've been using that 1040 overlay. They've seen that long before they met you. So definitely use our sales kit. If you haven't requested this already, I'll be sending this out to everybody that had registered and everybody that had attended. Now, what you're going to get from me is that Google Drive link. I tell all of my agents this. I know there's lots of funky links out there nowadays. This is legitimate. There's several different attachments that you're going to see on this. I don't know if I could click on this from here. I might be able to. I can. So once you click on that link that I send you, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pieces of material that you can use from this, none of which that you had to spend the time looking for on your own, none of which that you had to put together. Like this 1040 agent guide. Now this is something from Columbus Life, and it is a whole guide that you get to see as well. Looks like it's about 12 pages. So again, it's a seed planting tool. You also have different prospecting letters. So this is one that's used for agents that are also CPAs. So I have some agents that I cannot talk to during tax season because it's a really busy time for them. But then they're able to use this prospecting letter and go back to those clients. So here are some more letters. We have a great one from Allianz. Allianz has some great stuff on their website, but they also have this tool, 2026 updates. We also have our 2026 taxable equivalent yield table, the 1040, of course. We have the 2026 tax fact sheet that we actually send out right at the beginning of the year. But if you haven't downloaded it, if you don't have it yet, this is one that we have. And we also, if I can make this any bigger, we also included Medicare premiums, so this is good for people also doing Medicare, including that in their day-to-day conversations. And we have a great senior healthcare specialist here, Anna. She does a terrific job and has been doing this for a really long time. So she knows her stuff, she knows how to lead a team, and she knows how to help get you the right resources. So if you're also in the Medicare space, it's a great door opener, but we also have some great resources to help you guys along with that. The big beautiful bill and how this affects clients' taxes. That's huge. A lot of clients have heard about this, but might not know exactly how their taxes are affected. And that is what we end that kit with. So before I let you guys go, I'm going to go ahead and launch a quick poll here. Do you want to be invited to our IAMS Life and Annuity Academy? Sorry, I know that was a little abrupt, but just wanted to get that in before I forgot again. And so why I'm putting up the Life and Annuity Academy poll right now is because we actually will usually have a great specialist that'll come in, and it's usually people's favorite session in the whole academy. A tax mitigation specialist will usually have one come in every single academy and talk about how you can talk about Roth conversions, how to position those, how to position the 1040 overlay kit and whatnot. So there's lots of opportunity to continue building upon your practice, especially if you're already a seasoned professional, because most of the people that we have out to our academy are already really good producers. Like they might be doing at a minimum 2 million in FIA premium, but what they're trying to do is get to 8, 10, 15. And that's what we're here to do at the end of the day. And the best way to do that is through building upon a foundation that we already have. And so if you're already using taxes, but maybe not using the Tax 40 overlay kit, or maybe might not have access to some of these materials, definitely give me a call. I'll be reaching out to everybody here. Everybody after this webinar sometime this week to just see if you had any questions. But otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Thank you again. Bye-bye.